Hey, welcome to Married with Media.
Hello. Hello.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh,
We
man.
barely made it down here.
Why is this just I guess I might as well just accept that this is
This is the way
what
it
it
is.
is, the way it is, who we are.
I forgot to put on my Michael Myers mask. I'm gonna wear this on my head.
You didn't forget, but
Yeah.
you're not going to put it on?
No, this is how I wear it. This is OG Nick Castle look back in the day. There's a picture of the original Michael Myers actor with this on his head like this, and he's drinking a Dr. Pepper. So this works too.
No, watch with your arms on the table. Remember, the camera shakes very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say that, sure, that'll go because apparently now with Halloween, anything goes.
Anything goes. Is this even a Michael Myers movie anymore?
Who knows?
It's Corey Cunningham's movie.
Yeah,
Corey Cunningham.
it's actually anybody's but Michael Myers.
Apparently. But look, we got 20 people in here watching us. Thank you all so much for joining, even though we were about 40 minutes late.
We were late.
Yeah.
As far as what time we advertised, but
Yeah.
it's the night is still young.
We went to a wedding today.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful wedding.
Yeah, we just ended up staying a little too long.
Yeah.
Weddings take time. They're a pretty long process.
Yeah, I haven't been to a wedding in probably 10 years, so I think I underestimated it too. I was like, oh, we'll be there and back in 3 or 4 hours, and it was like 6 or 7.
No, because you got the wedding, then you got the reception, and it just takes a lot of time because the wedding party has to take pictures and so anyway, but we're here.
But we made it home, and then of course, when you get home, it's not over. You got to get the kids acclimated to the house.
Had to take the dog out because he had been up for several hours.
Dog out, and I'm like, it was literally like what 8:25 when we got home. I was like, yeah, this isn't happening. Yeah, at least not right now. We weren't going to do it at all. We're going to have to cancel. But
yeah, we thought we were going to have to cancel. But you know what?
I came down here to cancel. I saw everybody's lovely face in the chat. I was like, I can't cancel on these people.
Yeah.
I was like, let's delay it and see if we can make it happen.
Yeah.
So
we're here. We're ready to talk some Halloween. So if you haven't seen Halloween Ends, or don't stay in the stream if you don't want to know spoilers.
Only if you don't care. Like if you don't care, then whatever. That's on you. But yeah. Let's see. We got Gary M.N. here, and he says, oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I think Gary watched Halloween Ends. I think he did.
That's what we said.
Adrian James is here. Says, hey there, Ken and Michelle. How's it going, my lovely friends? Going great, Adrian. Good. Thank you for being here. Gary says, people who bought the first 2 minutes like me will feel pressured to buy this last one. Oh, what do we do?
Did you say 2 minutes?
About the last 2 movies, I'm assuming.
He's just saying like the last 4K? 2, like me. Yeah.
I'm gonna take this off.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's bugging me. I don't know how Nick Castle did it back in the day.
We got being chilly. Holy crap! I'm early, on time, or someone's late. Yes.
Which I did. Speaking of Nick Castle, I did point out to you when we were watching the movie. Nick Castle is in Halloween Ends. He's playing the guy who opens up his coat. I forget what he says.
He's playing the guy who gets killed.
Does he get killed?
Yeah, eventually in a different scene.
Oh wow! I forgot. I must have been zoned out.
Yeah.
During that part.
You don't remember that part?
No, the guy at the party when they're all dancing and stuff.
Party? I thought you said that he was the homeless guy.
Nope, not the homeless guy. He's the guy that's at the party. They go to the bar and they're like dancing and stuff.
The party.
Is it like a Halloween party? Because he's like dressed up.
Oh yeah.
And he takes his jacket and he goes rah, and he reveals something.
Yeah, but I can't remember what he looked like.
Anyway, that was Nick Castle.
Oh, okay.
That's the
I thought you were talking about the homeless guy. The homeless guy.
No, the homeless guy that says, I'm Michael Myers.
He's like, go in and get that mask for me. Yeah. The Blackest Eyes is here, and he says, Heidi ho.
What'd you think of Halloween Ends, The Blackest Eyes? You still a fan?
Might miss the start. I don't think you did. I think you're good.
Probably not. You're probably good now.
Just us talking. He said, okie dokie. We got Maria in the house. Hello,
What's
Ken
up,
and
Maria?
Michelle. I saw Halloween Ends tonight. I liked it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm look, we watched this on Thursday night.
Uh-huh.
We did the review right after. I didn't know what to say. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I feel like my opinion may have shifted just slightly, but we'll talk about it. I do want to watch it again. It's like the only one that I feel compelled to go watch again, like right away. I haven't got the chance to. Whereas Halloween 2018, I didn't care to rewatch it again for a while, and Halloween Kills, I did not care to rewatch it again. So, but this one I actually want to watch it again.
B and Chili says, hope your wedding dinner experience was the best. Steak or fish? They actually had tacos. They did have steak as an option, though, for the tacos.
Steak tacos. Chicken tacos.
They had a place called Chewy's. Don't know if those are anywhere else, but it's a really good Mexican restaurant. And, yeah, lots of yummy food. Gary says, really, Maria? I'd be thrilled if I ended up liking it, but hearing mostly negatives. To be honest, I always felt H2O was the end of Halloween. Michael's head is chopped off for God's sake.
Yep, turned out it wasn't Michael. Do you remember that movie?
No.
Yeah, in the next movie, he comes back, and how they justify it was Michael put his mask on somebody else, and then Jamie Lee actually chopped another person's head off.
Okay, so it's not the first time that his mask has been on someone else.
No, but Michael Myers actually put it on somebody else. Though.
I heard
he didn't get punked out like a bitch and get it taken from him.
Well, I know, but I also just heard the complaint of no one else is supposed to wear that mask.
Yeah.
But apparently it's happened before, so that's an interesting.
It has happened before.
But I know what you mean. It was a different circumstance. Yeah. It was on Michael's terms.
Yeah. Michael Myers is being sneaky.
We got Gus. Hi, Ken and Michelle. What's up, Gus? Saying hi to each other. Taylor says, how would you feel if the Nightmare on Elm Street made a movie and a random person was introduced in the movie and halfway through he pushes Freddy down and took his glove and kills everyone like ends? Exactly.
And he just magically gets the dream power where he can go inside people's dreams.
This is really bugging me. Like, just every little touch. Do you see that? It shakes.
Very sensitive.
We're going to have to...
you decided to put the laptop on the table.
I know.
And you can change it?
You can still see our corner of our...
She gets so particular about the setup, and you are not seeing any cracks in the corners or anything.
You care about that.
Do I?
I thought you cared about the cracks.
Yeah,
we're talking about the hold on.
I got cracks and all kinds of... I do live streams with like literal trash on my couch in the background when I'm doing live streams.
Howdy doody, Punch and Judy. That's funny. Fraud. I am Spartacus. I think it's just saying a bunch of random things now. We got Pure Hangout saying, I liked it. Fully unexpected.
Hey,
and I liked that.
There's a lot of people saying that. We'll get into it, but...
if it was an anthology film, it's good. This is not how you end a trilogy, though.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, what is this? What are they doing? This is so weird. I hated it last night. I rewatched this morning and I accept it for what it is.
Yeah. That's
Time may look fondly on it, like 3. I'm high on copium. Okay. I don't know if you're serious, but we got Holland Oates saying subtract what Shelly gave it from Jenny's and it still might be too high.
What did you get this movie again?
1.5.
Do you stand by that still?
Yes.
Okay.
Winston says better late than never, Michelle and Ken. I like how he said.
I'm gonna go get a water real quick.
I like how he said my name first. I like that. The Blackest Eye says Michael busts all kinds of nuts. First kill, all kinds.
You want one?
Sure. Robert says it's a flasher. B and Chili says, were you all watching the same movie? I like it for what it is, but not as an end of a trilogy. 2018 is so good, though.
The cracks were there.
I was angry last night, though.
The writing was on the wall.
How do you feel the romance was handled? Did you like it or feel it was rushed?
It was way rushed. Like, I feel like if they would have started this angle last year with kills and maybe gave it a little bit more time to develop, like introduced Corey as a character, they could have pulled it off a little bit more realistically in this movie. But the fact that it just comes out of nowhere so fast, like, I don't know.
So are we just gonna get into it? Because for me personally, that is a huge problem that I have with this movie.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about it.
Well, I was just gonna.
This is full on spoilers. We're just whatever you guys want to talk about.
But I
whatever
didn't
you
know
want
if
to
we were
point out.
gonna like stop at the chat and then get into it. but
we don't have to do this, linear. What do you say?
Linearly.
We can just talk about it. A free flowing conversation, whatever your problems, your likes, your dislikes, whatever y'all want to talk about throughout the night, we'll talk about it.
So
no plans here as always.
Okay, well, you gotta quit talking for me to do that. But I was just gonna say, watch. You gotta do it off of the table. That was one of my biggest problems with this movie, was the stupid, annoying romance with Corey, and I don't even know her name. What's her name?
Her name's Allison.
Allison, okay.
In the movie, right? I think it is. And her name's Andy Manichak.
Yeah, I don't care about her real name. So the two characters, it, like you said, maybe it would have worked better for me had they built it up in the last one. But, to be fair, in the last one, she got her boyfriend killed as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is anybody talking about that? Like, she had a boyfriend in the last episode where I guess, like, he was her boyfriend. He was kind of an asshole. Didn't they kind of break up?
Yeah, he was an asshole. He threw her phone in the punch bowl.
Did that happen in the last one, or it happened in the one before that?
That was in 2018, and then they were like back together in kills. It was the same night, so they were just with each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I guess it wouldn't have worked to have built this up in the last one, because she literally had a boyfriend in the last one. So It's like, I get that.
Well, my thing is that you didn't have to make them both in the same night, I guess.
What do you mean?
Like, Halloween Kills didn't have to be in the same night. Like, it could have took place. I don't know. There's just a better way to do it, I guess. Or don't even do this at all. That could be an option.
Are you talking about the last two?
Yeah, the last two.
How they were on the same night? Because this one was not on the same night.
Well, let's say this. Let's say Halloween 2018, they could have put parts of kills in that one. Maybe cut out some of the stupider parts of that movie that they didn't need. And then you could have had Halloween Ends, or Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills together. And then they could have started this plot line with the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they could just do 4 movies. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're not saying that Halloween Ends was on the same night as Kills, right?
No, it wasn't. I'm saying don't make Kills on the same night. That way he could have died in the first one and then the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew forward. That, but I'm like, why are you saying that?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. It's a weird situation.
So it just kind of makes me wonder, like, had this been in the cards all along, or was this kind of just thrown together? Was it just like this new idea that they came up with at the last minute?
So apparently, originally, and I think we got a couple comments on this in our video, people that didn't know it had changed, but apparently, because they only were supposed to make the first one, Halloween 2018, and then it was supposed to be over. But of course, when something's successful, they're like, all right, let's make another couple movies and make this a trilogy.
Right.
So then David Gordon Green, who's the director and part writer, and Danny McBride, Danny McBride, right?
Yes.
As another writer of this movie. And David Gordon Green also directed Pineapple Express as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute as well.
So they got together and came up with the idea, okay, so the 2 sequels are going to take place in the very same nights. And we're going to continue the story on in the very same night as 2018. And then they did Kills, they shot Kills, and then COVID happened and they couldn't shoot Ends. And then they had some extra time to come up with different ideas. And they're like, well, let's not do it in the same night. Let's flash forward 4 years. And then I imagine that's where they came up with this story.
Interesting.
So I know this was not planned from the beginning. This is very, very similar. It reminds me so much of Star Wars. It's not even funny because that trilogy was not planned from the beginning either. And it's so clear because the story directions and tones are just constantly shifting throughout that trilogy and this trilogy.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, I get it. They were trying to go for the, she's lost her parents. She's been through this traumatic thing with her grandmother. And so she's kind of like messed up and she's kind of rebelling. They were trying to make it seem like she was going rebellion. Yeah. Rebellion. She was getting rebellious, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I get it, but it was just so
and almost
obnoxious.
See, my whole issue with this whole movie is the fact that they introduce all these ideas, and they're not bad ideas. They're a little half-assed and
They were
poorly
just kind of like
executed.
season 8 of
But they
Game of
don't
Thrones.
they don't go yeah, kind of like that.
They were just too
Kinda like that.
rushed and not.
They rush them, they half-ass them, whatever, and that's
Right.
all fine, whatever. But my issue is that they set up all this shit and they don't go all the way with it.
Right.
Like if you're gonna set her up to, there's that scene where they're like, let's burn this town to the ground or something.
Yeah. So
and
that
she's
was
like, or he's like, I'll light the match. Whatever. Is that what they say?
Yes.
You didn't like that line, did you?
I didn't. It was so cringy. Like the whole relationship was so cringy, and it just didn't work for me. But
so from that point on, she should have been all in on him with him murdering people in the town. Like she should have went crazy along with him.
Yeah, like I get what you're saying. How they had these ideas that could have really been like interesting, and I will say in the aspect of them doing that, you definitely, as me anyway, as a viewer, I kept thinking, okay, like, is the granddaughter, is Allison like turning bad? Is she going to join him? Is she going to, I saw other people talk about how, is she going to, change her mind and then, turn on Corey and be like, no, I can't do it. There were, it kept you kind of guessing.
How much better the scene would have been if, Corey, when he breaks into that doctor's house and the nurse that took her job.
And then she was there.
Imagine her, like, I think Michael Myers is with him, right? Like Michael Myers and him are in that.
Yes, because he comes out and puts the girl to the wall.
Yeah. So imagine that scene played out differently with her instead of Michael Myers there.
Yeah.
And he does something to the girl, pins her down, does whatever,
and that,
maybe holds her and says, do you want to finish and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, do you want to finish the job? And then she slices her neck or something like that. Like that could have been a turning point moment.
And that also would have made sense because if you think about it,
that's a girl that she very strongly disliked. So
exactly. That's what I was just going to say. They make it a point to show a couple of scenes where Allison is at work and she's clearly irritated.
Yeah.
She's clearly irritated at her boss, at her coworker. And so it would totally make sense. And it's like, but they did nothing with that,
Yeah.
So.
And then you go back to the argument that, okay, so all these are cool ideas, but are these the right ideas for a conclusion of a Halloween trilogy?
Right. Or is it too late to go there?
Because all the stuff we're talking about, it's like, this would be a cool movie, but is this the right movie for this particular movie?
Right.
Is this the right movie for a end of a franchise
right.
that's been going on since 1978?
Right.
And they build it as this epic final conclusion.
Yeah.
That they do pay off. I'm not going to say they don't pay it off, but the road to get there is just so disjointed and out of place that by the time you get to the payoff, it just feels like they just threw it in there because they had to. It doesn't feel like they wanted to do this epic confrontation with Laurie Strode and Michael. They just kind of threw it in at the end. Like, okay, well, we did all this really cool stuff that we wanted to do. We know y'all want the Laurie Michael stuff, so let's throw that in at the end. And then we can have a little conclusion.
We're talking about the relationship here, okay? One thing at a time.
All this stuff relates. It all relates. You can continue on with the chat wherever we left off.
Let's see. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the romance. And then at the end of the day, you can watch 2018 and Phil Michael died in the fire. Deadpool fan says, I didn't think it was that bad. Robert Long says, Steve was the flasher.
The flasher.
Oh, the one you said opened up as at the party. Being Chile says, was the Friday the 13th tea wedding attire? I would have worn.
No, I took, once we changed the stream time, I took a shower real quick.
No way.
She wouldn't have let me get away with that. I had to wear some nice shirt that you made fun of
and
me
I still didn't like
as soon as I put it on.
The thing with Ken though is he literally has no clothes.
I only wear t-shirts. All right. I got a couple like polos.
When it comes time to go to something nice, he has literally nothing, and we're reminded of it too late. And I'm like, you look horrible, but okay, let's go.
Let's roll. I'll get some nice clothes eventually.
I don't think I read that. Tis movie pissed me off.
I understand.
I think they probably meant this movie pissed me off. Nick was flasher in the club. Maria says it's the end of the suffering of Lori and the town and what they went through for 40 years. In the end, Michael got what he deserved.
Yeah, I get that. Like there's stuff in it that makes sense.
Okay, so let's just go back to that comment, okay? So what did you think about how they did that? How they brought the town into it again? They had to like give a conclusion to the town suffering. What did you think about that?
Yeah, because they kind of made the town a part of it with kills.
Right.
So they had to pay that off. It's not just Lori's trauma and kills they introduced, that the town has a trauma.
Right. So what did you think about that though?
What
did you think about seeing the one?
I would understand the town's trauma in this because they have kills to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the town's trauma from kills because they had 3 kids that were murdered 40 years before.
Right.
And the guy's locked up. What kind of trauma do you have as a town for 3 kids and the guy got locked up?
Right.
I don't I understand it's a traumatic event for the families, of course.
Yeah.
The whole town, that's hard to buy. But this taking place after kills, I understand it a little bit better.
What did you think about the woman though that survived? She was in the wheelchair with the nasty.
I mean, I don't know how she survived, but I guess
that was the husband and wife in the house, right?
Yeah, she got the freaking glass like right through her
throat.
Right,
yeah.
The black lady, yeah.
Yeah, there's like the whole scene where
I was like, how? What? She's still alive?
Right, where Lori is in the grocery store and she comes out and the woman stops her and she's like, how dare you, or something like that.
Yeah, they're pissed at her.
Yeah, they're pissed at her, whatever. And so like that was definitely a theme in this movie where like she was definitely like an outcast in the town, you know?
Yeah.
And then there, you know, she's like, it was like the sister or something of the victim, the one that survived, and she was like, this is your fault. You provoked Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I guess me not being a big Halloween fan and not remembering all of the stuff that happened and stuff, what did they mean when they were saying that she like provoked him and stuff? What?
It's taken a gigantic leap, but the only thing I can think of is that she trapped him. She baited him to her house in 2018.
Okay.
To trap him and kill him.
Okay.
And I guess in their minds, they think that if she hadn't done that, that he wouldn't have went on the killing spree he did.
Okay. I was wondering.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
there's a lot of stuff with this movie.
So it then really to keep it going with the town or whatever. I mean, I did think that it was kind of like you get the whole, what's it called? Like voiceover, I guess, or narration of Lori, and she's writing a book.
The movie because she's writing her
memoirs. Writing a book, yeah. And so she, at the end, she's kind of talking about the town's, oh my gosh, trauma and stuff. And she's like, well, it might have been before that, but she was just talking about how it had made the town like paranoid and stuff. It talked about how, like people were killing themselves because they couldn't deal with the paranoia of it. Or I guess, people were turning on themselves, like turning on each other.
They were finding new villains in the form of Corey Cunningham.
Correct. Yes.
Which I guess we can talk about him for a little bit because we can start with the opening.
Yes.
The introduction of this character.
Okay. So I don't know how other people feel about this. So you guys definitely let us know in the chat. But for me personally, and I don't know, I think that you agreed with me. But for me, I thought this movie had a really good, like a strong opening. Like I really liked the opening and
very shocking.
Very shocking. Like I knew we were kind of like calling out what was about to happen, but it still didn't happen in the way that I thought it was going to happen.
No, the way it actually happened was much more brutal.
So
at least the way they showed it.
Since we're talking about spoilers, obviously, like, we're clearly talking about where Corey is a normal person in the beginning, and he's, babysitting a kid, which is kind of an interesting thing because, Lori, she was a babysitter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you feel like that was intentional maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
So, he's babysitting. The mom basically says that this little kid is kind of traumatized by Michael as well. He has nightmares, night terrors. He pees the bed. She's kind of like, good luck, whatever.
And also a fun callback. They're watching John Carpenter's The Thing,
right?
Which he directed the first Halloween movie. And in the original Halloween, they're watching The Thing from Another World, which is the 50s version of The Thing.
And I didn't think about that. So yeah, very cool. It's Halloween night. The parents go to a Halloween party. They're at home. So then, it's time for the kid to go to bed. Well, Corey, he goes to like get a snack or something, and the kid has disappeared. The front door's open. He's like, oh my gosh, where'd this kid go? He's looking for the kid. They've got this really creepy big staircase or whatever in the house. And so he has to go up the stairs. The kid like traps Corey in the attic. But like on his way up the stairs, right? You see that the knife had been taken from the counter down in the kitchen. So that was kind of a Michael Myers callback, I feel like. But anyway, you see the knife like on the steps. So you're like, okay, the kid doesn't have the knife. So, or it's not Michael in the house, And so then, like I said, he gets trapped in the attic. The kid's like, hey, Michael's going to get you, whatever. So you kind of don't really know what's going to happen. But we kept saying Corey's going to accidentally stab the kid.
Yeah, because from the synopsis of the movie, like it even says Corey's babysitting a kid and a tragedy happens. A kid dies on his watch. So the kid's going to die.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So we kind of thought that he was going to accidentally stab the kid. I didn't think, that's the way that the scene was going. I didn't think that Corey was going to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
We felt like it was just going to be an accident because the kid was going to like jump out or something and Corey was just going to, accidentally do it. But no, it was so much more worse. He's kicking down the door or whatever. And then the kid just flies off the staircase.
Yeah, and then pops him in the face with the door and then he goes over.
And just like the sound and like the kid just.
Well, we do have that new sound system in there, so we can hear that thump a little bit better.
Yeah, and then you just see him and like there's blood that goes everywhere. And, we have kids. And so that was kind of like just traumatized because then, of course, at that exact moment, the parents come home and they're like, oh my God, what did you do? What did you do? And it was just like super effective for me. Like I was like, oh my God.
It was definitely a way to start a movie.
Yeah. So I feel like it made sense for Corey's character. It's like, okay, so obviously he's gonna have gone through some shit and it's gonna make him kind of spiral.
Yeah, because this happened in 2019. So it happened a year after Kills. And then 3 years before the actual setting of this movie.
And then like also before, like just to note too, they had Corey, he apparently, was going to go, he was either about to go to college or was in college. He was going to be doing like engineering. They painted it that he was going to have this like really bright future. And then this happens. And so then, you flash forward and you see that unfortunately that didn't happen for him because,
he's working on like some garbage place, right?
He works for his dad at the car place. And, so you see that basically that incident ruined his life. And, they talk about how the town turned against the family. And like Corey's mom said to Lori whenever they met up, she was like, the town needed a new monster and it was my son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like it made sense that Corey went off the deep end. But not quite like he did.
No, and that's the problem with introducing a character like that because I actually, like no joke, like I think that the Corey Cunningham character is actually a pretty good character. It's just they rushed his development, but I mean he is a complex character. He has an arc throughout the movie. I actually think the performance, I'll have to look at the actor real quick, but I thought that the kid that played him was actually pretty good, Rowan Campbell.
So
I thought he was pretty good. Like I didn't mind the character or the actor. It just doesn't belong in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if this was a different movie, then I might have been more on board with it. But again, yeah, it was extremely rushed as well. But
I feel like as far as his performance goes, I feel like it was a little cringy to me.
yeah.
I don't know if it was, I don't know. Like I'm just thinking about when he's kind of that in between time where he's not like full on killing people yet, or he might have started or something.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that scene where him and Allison are in the restaurant and that cop that likes Allison comes over, and you just know that classic scene where the boy gets pissed and yells at the other guy. Like I knew that was going to happen. He's like, she said, leave her alone, man. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's more in the writing though. And these movies have never had good writing.
Yeah.
Because they got freaking Danny McBride writing for them.
But again, like that whole cringy conversation with him and Allison, like, let's burn the town down. And he's like, I'll light the match.
It's definitely like, very melodramatic.
So I don't know. Like,
but again, like I think that here's the thing, like, if I actually wanted him to kill Michael Myers and take his mask and like that, because that's my biggest problem with the movie. Like they introduced all these stuff and they didn't go all the way with it.
Right.
If I actually wanted him to kill Michael Myers and take his mask, then that means that he was doing a good job for me.
So you did want him to?
Because I thought that he was actually like, by the time he started turning psychotic, I bought into it. I was like, I buy this kid taking this mask and going around killing everybody.
Really?
So it kind of worked for me, but again, it was just so rushed that I don't know.
Yeah,
it didn't all the way work, but I could buy into it enough. It's just they didn't go all the way with it.
You know, yeah, it's hard
I'm still
to say.
very conflicted. I do want to watch it again. I really want to watch it again.
I guess when the writing is not the greatest, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between just bad acting and bad writing.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Is. So yeah.
No, I mean, I thought the kid was pretty good. Let's go back to the comics. Under Oath fan forever says, isn't the real romance between Hawkins and Laurie? That's the chief and Laurie. I didn't mind all that.
Yeah,
it was a little cheesy and corny, but again, like
didn't you miss Gus's comment?
Yeah, who runs away with someone you just met unless you're a Disney princess?
Right. Yeah, just quickly, Hawkins and Laurie. It was kind of funny. I'm just like, Laurie's, got to be with this old geezer, and Kenny's like, well, I mean, she is older now. Like she's.
Yeah, I mean, I like Will Patton. It just they didn't really give him a ton to do in the last two movies.
I like him too, but yeah, he just seems kind of, just
they just didn't do anything with him. He was just in the hospital all last movie with Laurie, so I mean, it makes sense they developed this relationship.
And what did he say? He was like, "How about that?" Or he said something about cherry blossoms. I guess taking her to see cherry blossoms, and at the end, she's like, "How about them cherry blossoms?"
Sure, it's a sweet old people romance, I guess. Movie Fan 91 says, hey guys, keep hearing mixed things about the movie. May have to see it for myself. Definitely watch it for yourself. The only thing I keep telling people with this movie is just keep an open mind, and maybe you might enjoy it. I don't know.
So I'm gonna try to move this a little bit, guys. Oh, it's moving it close.
You shouldn't get the camera closer to my face. It's not going to be favorable for the live stream.
I just don't know how to do it without. Okay, so somebody commented that on our review about keeping an open mind, or maybe it was have fun with it. I don't know. I feel like keeping an open mind is just another way to say this movie sucks. Just keep an open mind, and maybe you won't think it sucks as bad.
Let's see.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the
comment because I want to talk about this too. It's so funny watching people trying to defend this movie. We're all stupid for not liking a movie. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to get toxic with this conversation or anything because there are people that like this movie, and if you really like this movie, like I can honestly understand it. I couldn't understand it last year because I just think Halloween Kills is just a bad movie, just all around a bad movie. This isn't a good movie either, but there are things in it that are just far more interesting to me than Halloween Kills. So again, I don't think you're stupid for liking it, and I don't think you're stupid for not liking it.
Yeah,
like, I can understand both sides.
Like, I'm never gonna tell somebody that they're wrong for liking a movie or not liking a movie. Like, I might say something as a joke or something, but
I don't know how toxic this whole conversation around ends is at this point, but I feel like it was more toxic last year with Kills.
I feel like it's getting pretty toxic.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I just haven't been on a lot of stuff. I haven't watched a ton of people's reviews.
It's so annoying because I feel like it's
I just know I got very irritated last year because people kept telling me to turn my brain off and just enjoy it. Can't you just enjoy Michael killing people? I was like, yeah, I can enjoy that, but also know what makes a good movie. And I don't feel like that this, just because it's Michael Myers doesn't mean you can't make a good, well-written movie that makes sense and has compelling characters.
Well, it's usually the people that liked something, I feel like, that are more aggressive than the people who didn't like something.
Sometimes.
The people who liked it are like, oh, you people who didn't like it are just always bitching about something. Or like, you know what I mean? It's just like, no, like I just didn't work for me. So
and then those people that didn't like last year's Kills are coming out and saying they love this one or that they don't like this one. And it's like, okay, maybe somebody else liked this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird, but
it is.
Let's see. Still better than Resurrection. LOL. I like Resurrection. I don't know. I'm going to do a ranking at some point, but Hall & Oates is here. Let's see. I'm stupid for accepting it, says LOL. Or says the Blackest Eyes. I'm sorry. Halloween fan, I can't hate it. I saw Halloween Ends like 3 times, and I'm like, what the F was that? He saw it 3 times?
Damn. Must be at home, or?
The trilogy was written to all take place on one night, and they scrapped the idea for Ends and did the time jump. Yep. I liked Halloween 2018, but Kills was just okay. Kills were cool, but that was it. Yeah. Bob's here. What's up, Bob? He says, howdy, everyone. Halloween Kills was garbage. Do you mean Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends, Bob? Because I know you didn't like Ends, but I don't know how you felt about Kills.
Both.
I got 2 free posters as well. My sister ex-BF worked at the cinema, and he copped me posters. Nice. Bob, let's see. How dare you, Bob? This is the best movie of the year. Hello, Ken and Michelle. Hope all is well. Slanche. Is that right?
I think so.
Terrible way to wrap things up. Halloween Ends was shit as a true fan. Halloween Ends was definitely a terrible way to wrap things up. I feel comfortable saying that. I don't feel comfortable saying it was shit anymore. And this is why I feel like in our review, like I said, it was a bad movie, and I'm still kind of holding to that. But also, that's why I gave it a 2.5, because I wasn't sure if it was complete garbage or not. I don't know. I don't remember what I gave Kills either. There was things I liked about Kills.
Okay,
I like the flashback stuff.
Okay, so I just want to get into. So we talked about the romance.
See, Gus enjoyed Ends.
We talked about the romance. So that was a huge problem for me. The other, probably, I don't know if you would say these go like hand in hand or whatever, but the other biggest problem for me was how, okay, so when we realize what way, like what direction they're taking this, when they're letting us know, okay, so Corey is basically, do you want to talk about the whole like moment between him and Michael? Like, yeah. I don't know. I remember you were just saying that when you saw the preview, you were kind of like, it seems like Michael just like transfers his like ability or powers to Corey or something.
His essence.
Yeah, you said
kind of like a Jason Goes to Hell situation, which if you guys don't know, I don't talk a lot about Jason on the channel, on this channel anyway. Jason Goes to Hell is actually my second favorite Friday the 13th film. I've loved that film since I was a kid, and that's a really weird Friday the 13th film. So I'm not opposed to horror franchises going super weird and off the rails. It's just that I don't know. Again, I mean, that was supposed to be the final Friday as well, so that was supposed to be the end of Jason, even though it wasn't. They did other movies. But I don't know. It's possible that after a couple more watches of this movie, it becomes a favorite. I don't know.
I feel like
I'm so
Ken is not even.
I'm so conflicted on this movie.
I
It's
feel
not
like
even funny.
you don't even have the ability to talk about this anymore.
I just know that it's very interesting to talk about. I'm at least happy that it's interesting to talk about rather than just I hate talking about it, like Halloween Kills.
Okay.
That just made me angry.
So just because something is like really interesting to talk about, though, does not mean that it's.
I understand that. I understand.
Okay, so let's just talk about how they have this moment. Like, what did you all think that moment meant when Corey goes down into the sewers or whatever, where we find out Michael has been hiding these 4 years or whatever?
You know who I wanted to see him run into down in the sewers?
Ratman.
You ruined it. Yes, Ratman.
Okay. Well, so, we find out Michael's been living down in the sewers with like down there where the homeless people are living or whatever. And Corey just has this moment where he basically gets like in a chokehold by Michael, and they kind of just like look into each other. They lock eyes, and then there's like this flashback of Corey's like life, pretty much, of like everything that he went through, like killing the boy on accident and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know what they were trying to say there. Were they trying to say that Michael saw that in Corey, or were they trying to say that Corey's life flashed before his own eyes? Were they trying to say that Michael and Corey saw each other and knew each other and were like, we're the same? There's so many things that could have meant.
Yeah. So
do you know what I mean? It could have meant so many things.
This is where, because basically what happens after this, and this is what I was talking about with like Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this movie borrows from a lot of horror movies. I didn't even get the Christine reference. I heard somebody say it was a kind of like Christine because of how he meets Michael, like the kid meets the car, and then the car turns him evil, like Michael's turning the kid evil.
Okay.
So I didn't even get that reference. But Hellraiser, like, he starts bringing people to do whatever.
Yes. So that's my other problem.
Well, I wanted to dig into this.
Yes. So this
is wild.
We're literally sitting there, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, like, I can't deal with this. This is like.
You didn't like it.
Okay.
You didn't like it because it meant anything to you as far as like Michael as a character. Or anything.
No. But like the whole, it's like, so it was like this concept that Corey was bringing Michael victim. So like Michael is weak. He's weak, right? They made that pretty clear that he's weak. He's not very strong anymore.
Laurie has a line in Kills where it's like every time he kills, he gets stronger. Like,
right. And so they definitely do that. So Corey.
How would she know that? I don't know.
Right. So Corey essentially is bringing Michael victims, and you get this scene to where he brings them the cop guy.
Yes.
That Allison was like dating, or he liked her. I don't really know. I think that they dated once or something, and they said, but anyway, so he brings them the cop guy because obviously he doesn't like him because he's hitting on his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the guy had been drinking, so he was a little bit, not as like ready to defend himself and everything. So,
or he was just a pussy.
So yeah, he basically brings Michael a victim, and you get this whole scene to where Michael, I guess, had been having his knife hidden in the wall. He had like the knife in the wall, and you see the scene where he pulls it out and he stabs the guy, and it's like he gets stronger like almost immediately. So then he like stabs more or whatever. And the whole time, Corey's like holding the guy while Michael's stabbing him. And Corey's just like looking up at Michael. And it's just like, I can't stand that kind of stuff. Like personally, like
it's called horror.
I know. But whenever, like, I hate in horror movies when they like.
But you read it as him getting off on it. Like, I didn't read it as that. I just read it as, oh my God, like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, this is so cool. But also, like, I'm terrified.
Yeah, it was. But also, there was just like that look to where like Corey was, it was like he was scared, but like also enjoying it. And that's one thing that I hate about horror movies is whenever they kind of make, murdering into this enjoyment, like sexual thing. Like, I don't know. It just makes me like, just it makes me feel so weird. And I mean, that's probably the point.
That is the point.
Yeah.
Horror movies are supposed to make you feel uncomfortable.
I just like to think that people just kill because, you know, it's like a moment of anger and stuff. Not that they're like, this is so.
Well, the thing about Michael, let me get into my problems with this whole thing. So this is basically Michael taking on an apprentice of sorts. And we even joked about it at the one point. It's like, this is like take your kid to work day.
Yes.
Where Michael's going in there and killing people and Corey's with him.
Yes.
So this is such a betrayal to the character of Michael Myers.
Yes.
And if I would have watched this 15 years ago, back when I gave more of a shit, I would have been so pissed off. That's the reason why I hate Rob Zombie's Halloween, or I thought I did anyway. That's the reason why I hate Rob Zombie's Halloween, because it's such a betrayal to Michael Myers as a character, what they set up in the original film. He's a force of nature. He kills without reason. There's no rhyme or reason to him.
Right.
He just kills. So for him to form a bond with a child over killing and take him on as an apprentice and not just kill him immediately when he sees him. He's not really a
child, but you know.
Yeah, you know, early 20s, whatever, how old he is. And not just kill him immediately when he sees him. Like, that's a betrayal to the character of Michael Myers. But since I don't care as much anymore about this franchise, because it done jumped the shark like 50 times before, so
that
it's like,
goes back, though. That goes back to that moment that they shared.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
That goes
like,
back
this is what we're doing.
I need something to put my arm on. That goes back to the moment that they shared. It's like they were in the very last movie. It's like they want to just make us believe, well, maybe there was more to Michael than we thought. Maybe he did have feelings and knew what he was doing.
He just wanted to look out his window.
And he had this emotional connection with a boy.
Out of his bedroom window.
Like, maybe they were suggesting that he was a pedophile. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, that's fine.
Or maybe Michael was gay.
He could have been. You know, it is 2022. It's okay. Love who you love.
I don't know.
But
yeah, that whole thing was the other huge problem that I had. I'm like, this is so fucking gay. Sorry, that might be inappropriate to say. This is so stupid, I should say, that they're making it seem like Michael is teaching this kid how to kill and stuff. And it was just, I thought the whole idea was just so dumb.
Like I said, it's not a terrible idea. It's definitely a direction. I mean,
don't like it at all.
After 13 movies, it's like, what do you do? Like, where do you go with this story? Everything's already been done. You might as well just try something off the wall, insane. But again, that goes back to my biggest problem is Corey Cunningham, when he took his mask, should have just fucking killed him. Should have just took him out.
Can we even talk about that whole scene?
Like, he should have just gutted him and took him out and took his mask and then went on a killing spree, fought Lori, killed her ass.
Yeah.
And then took her granddaughter and they went off together, rode off in the sunset.
Oh my gosh.
Without her even knowing.
Just staring at the TV like, what?
And she doesn't even have to know like that he killed her grandmother. Like, he could be like, I'm sorry, I witnessed that Michael Myers killed your grandmother.
You just wrote a story now.
And then they ride off together. In the next movie, whenever they pick this back up, now they got another trilogy they can do with the two of them. And then you can go from there, whatever way you want to write it. But
yeah, that whole scene, where Corey he's killed some people, right?
Yeah. And
then he goes back to take Michael down. He's like, come here, you mother, like, we
got to get back in this chat.
Wrestles
eventually.
Michael to the ground and takes his mask. And there's Michael just laying on the ground. And we're like, wow.
Beat up like a bitch.
That part, like, and like I've said several times, I'm not even a big Halloween fan. And to me, that's wrong.
Yeah, like I said,
to just make Michael so disposable like that.
If I cared like I did 15 years ago, like that would have bothered me. But I'm not so precious about this character anymore because they done fucked him around all over the place since, pretty much since the damn beginning, ever since Halloween 2. I mean, I'd say he's still pretty strong in Halloween 4.
The whole movie then.
I mean, these movies are just all messed up. Like Busta Rhymes kicks karate chops him in Resurrection. So I mean, the movies jumped the shark a long time ago. So whatever you want to do, I'm just numb to it at this point.
Yeah.
But at least if you're gonna go there, do something with it, and don't make me feel like by the time you get to the end that it was just a waste of time. because that's how I felt when we got to the end. It was just, everything was a waste of time. But
okay, Brian says, what is worse, Rob Zombie Halloween 2, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween Season of the Witch, or Halloween Ends?
I mean, as an actual movie, Resurrection. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. So I don't think those are bad at all.
I haven't even seen all of those, so I can't even
Resurrection's objectively a bad movie, and it's arguable that this one is too, but I think that there's more interesting stuff going on in this movie than a lot of people will probably be willing to give it credit for right now.
Terrifier 2 will be Slasher of the Year. Still ain't watched it, though. Yeah, I heard.
No, I haven't watched it either.
I heard that it did really well in the theater.
Yeah, we'll have to watch the first one at some point so we can watch the second one.
I'm sure I won't like it. You've told me about it. Bob says Halloween Ends is worse than all of them. At least Resurrection has Michael Myers killing people, and it's entertaining.
Michael kills a couple people in this movie.
Craig says the superior Gordon Green McBride team-ups are vice principals and the righteous gemstones. The best comedies people seem to be overlooking.
Exactly. Comedies. Should they be writing horror movies?
Okay, so do you just want to briefly talk about that really quick? I know you mentioned it earlier, and I said we would talk about it. About how they had, what's his name, McBride? What's the first?
Yes, but another positive for this movie, the writing's still shit. Like, the writing's still bad, but at least there's not a whole ton of, like, forced comedy in this one, I feel like. Whereas... yeah. I don't feel like there's nothing in this movie
that seems so random to me that he was a writer.
Yeah, well,
on this,
I don't know.
Yeah, so
there's weird. A lot of stupid comedy in 2018,
like Pineapple Express and Halloween Ends. Yeah. Like, no.
He also directed a movie called Joe with Nicolas Cage we watched, and that was actually a pretty good movie.
Was it?
But so yeah, stupid comedy in 2018, stupid political chants, Evil Dies Tonight and stuff, and kills that just is so bad.
So did McBride? Did the
at
same
least
people
this movie
did the
didn't
last
have
one?
anything like that.
Did they do the last one too, or no?
They've done all three.
Okay.
All three of these new ones.
Wow. Gus says Resurrection is the doo-doo of the franchise.
But you didn't say Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one.
It's so bad it hurts.
I don't know what to think of this franchise anymore. I'm all over the place. I don't know if Rob Zombie's Halloween's my least favorite anymore.
Holland Oates says, Bob, this better be in your top 5 in your ranking stream. Ozzy says, so Mike is actually Loomis. Do you know what he means by that? Mike is Loomis? Oh. The Blackest Eye says, Resurrection dies tonight. Maria says, Jamie Lee Curtis is a badass. Okay, so can we just talk about that? I'm sorry, guys, but I said that I let people like what they like and everything, and then here I go saying, I'm sorry, guys, but you're not allowed to think this. If you want to say the last, how long do you think the showdown was at the end? 20 minutes, 30 minutes? I don't know. Between Michael and Jamie?
15.
Or Michael and Lori? I'm sorry, but if that was good enough for you, then I don't think we can be friends. Because to me, that was not this epic showdown that you would think to be expected.
The epic showdown was in 2018.
Like
that was the epic showdown.
This was like, and can we talk about how it literally was in the trailer? Their like epic showdown to the end of this trilogy was in the freaking trailer.
Yeah.
Like it was the trailer. And I just thought that it was stupid. He was like, she stabbed his hand. You get the weird thing where his hand's like sliced in half. I'm like, how many times have we seen that? I feel like I've seen that like a million times lately in movies or shows where they've like cut somebody's hand. Do you know what I'm talking about? I feel like we've watched stuff lately where people's hands are like sliced. But she's like sliced his, at one point he's like, a knife in each hand, and then she like knocks the fridge on him.
Pinned up.
Yeah.
And she knocks the fridge on him.
And then
they start cutting his veins open to make sure he bleeds everywhere.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just
let me take this off.
No, I don't. Get off.
We're 40 minutes behind.
What do you mean by behind?
It means we're 40 minutes. This is stuff from 9:25 and we're 10:05 right now.
So Jamie Lee Curtis is a badass.
But 56 people in here listening to us talk about Halloween Ends. We appreciate y'all.
Listening to Ken tell me that I'm 40 minutes behind.
40 minutes behind. Catch up.
Brian says, tomorrow I plan on seeing Halloween Ends for the 4th time with the original Halloween, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. Tony says, new viewer here. Love your content. Been binging. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
Under Oath Fan Forever says, I kept expecting for Michael not being real, and it was Allison or a projection of Cameron's mind. That would have been something. I'm down for a Halloween anthology film now.
I mean, this was kind of it. This was kind of an Elseworld Halloween story.
4 or 5 separate Michael Myers stories. Holla, no worries. This will be my number 1. That's too high, Bob. What the F? Where do you think they're going to do with Michael Myers' remains? Grind up body parts in the metal grinder.
They should burn them, I guess, at this point.
I know, right?
Just go full on.
Maybe 4 or 5, but not 1. Like you said, Holland, best movie of the year. I'm glad we agree.
It's a good one.
With Halloween Ends being low at the box office, is Peacock the reason or the reviews?
I'd say a mix of both. I actually heard it was doing decent. Is it not doing good? I haven't really been tracking it.
Yeah, I feel like I still have heard of a lot of people.
I mean,
going to the theater.
Kills did 50 million with it being on Peacock too, so I'm sure that this one will do just fine. I doubt the budget was too much.
Michael will come back together like the T-1000 and T-2.
Oh god, that would have been awesome if the Michael parts started coming together and he rose up again.
Lori was badass at the end of Ends when she hit that knife with the iron skillet.
Yeah, I didn't think it was terrible.
It just wasn't enough for me. It wasn't this epic showdown. Take a shot every time Lori or Corey get accosted in town.
Accosted.
Accosted? What's that mean?
It means like
bullied, harassed.
Harassed. Yes, that's a good word for it.
That woman needed
Holland's vocabulary is a little bit bigger than ours.
Apparently. I'm like, what's that mean?
Well, that mean?
That woman needed a slap from Lori, Michelle, or a visit from Michael. Christine meets Halloween.
Yeah.
In what world does Halloween Ends compare to Christine? That's so disrespectful.
And also Friday the 13th Part 5, because like I said, Jason is not Jason in Friday 5. It's somebody else that put his mask on.
That was Oscar's mom who hung herself. Who was Oscar?
I have no idea.
Well, he was in the last movie, I guess. Remember seeing the
body was Oscar the kid that got killed in the backyard? Maybe. I think he was the kid that got killed in the backyard with the spotlights and stuff.
I think I know who you're talking about. Wow. What's your thoughts on Jamie Lee Curtis's Lori?
To be honest, she's probably one of the weaker final girls for me personally.
Yeah.
I would put a lot of people above her.
Yeah. I've never personally.
She's fine. I enjoy her in the first 2 movies. I haven't really. This is probably the film I've enjoyed her in the most of the new ones. I didn't like her at all in 2018 that much at all. She was just way too over the top, and I didn't buy into her trauma. I like her in H2O, even though the movie itself I'm not a huge fan of, but I think she's good in H2O. So, again, yeah, she's hit or miss for me as a character in this franchise, but she's also been in more movies than any other final girl, I feel like, in this franchise.
Yeah.
Even Nev Campbell as Sydney, because she's only got 5, and Lori's got like 8 in this franchise.
Taylor says, how do you feel Lori traumatized for 40 years and then forgets it after 2 more experiences with Michael and losing a daughter and like 25 people in town? She knows Michael is loose but can't care.
It is a leap for sure. Like, how does she have so much trauma and pent up frustration for a few of her friends dying 40 years earlier?
Right.
And her daughter dies.
Right.
And she's like, oh, I'm going to go back to making
right.
pies and hanging up Halloween decorations.
She was
I love Halloween.
Yeah. She was like, I can't. Well, she basically said like she couldn't live like that anymore.
Yeah.
And that she wasn't going to be scared anymore. So, I mean, I kind of get that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that just.
Because she's kind of like, he took my daughter. So what else can he take from me? Yeah,
and maybe that just taught her that
she can't stop it.
That way of living didn't work.
Right.
Obviously, she lost her daughter, and Michael came back. So she just needs a.
Was I the only one that was happy that little brat in the opening got what he deserved?
He was a little shit, but I don't know if
no
dying. I mean, our kids can be a little shit sometimes too. I wouldn't say that they deserve to be thrown off a staircase and brutally murdered.
No. Hey, Ken and Michelle, how's it going? Hey, Chandler, what's up? The fact Michael chose not to kill him was painful. Yeah, that's true. Like Michael, talking about in the scene where Michael could have killed Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was dressed the same as Oscar. Okay. It really makes no sense to have this new character introduced in this third movie. Not for sure why they did this. I know. It was just
it's an odd choice.
Too late. Craig says that little kid was a bitch. I replayed his splat twice with no shame. Oh my gosh, you guys.
I've heard that from several people, and I'm like, damn, like I didn't read that scene at all that way.
Me either. Do you guys have kids? I don't think so. I don't think you do, because
it's just like back before we had kids, we would get annoyed at people who brought kids out and they'd be crying and stuff. And it's like, now I totally understand. None of that phases me anymore.
Yeah. And plus, like, when they're your kids, like, yeah, they still get on your freaking nerves, but also they're your kids, so you love them still. Corey acts the same as the character in Christine. I was not sad to see him go either. Wow, you guys are a bunch of little kid haters. Holland says that Jeremy Fall was a little too comical for me.
I could see it being read that way, but it was just
I was in shock.
It was just right, I think, for me.
Yeah. I have a son, but F that little brat. I didn't really get how he was a brat, though. Like, he was just being a kid and playing. Yeah, I mean, all he did was just basically trick him.
He wasn't like, you guys are acting like he was Joffrey from Game of Thrones or something.
I know. Like, he just lured him to get trapped in the attic. That was about it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he did, when they were downstairs watching the movie, he did say something. He yelled at him and said something. Bob says Andy, Matt, whatever her name is, though. I guess he thinks she's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Bob, you pervert. No, I didn't say that. Somebody else said that. Corey's mask kind of reminded me of Rob Zombie Halloween mask a bit, or was it just me?
It's a little moldy mayonnaise mask.
I think it was a nod to, what's that? Oh, Rob Zombie's Halloween 10-year-old Michael mask, Brian. Maybe the same mask repainted. The writing is laughable. Cherry blossoms and cut meats, right? Hawkins was a wasted character. Hawkins was the cop, right? Shelly, you're right. Keep an open mind equals sucks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's get Scorsese's Halloween. Joe Pesci is Michael. I'm fucking Michael Myers over here.
You think I'm funny? You think I'm funny, Corey?
Oh, that's funny. Resurrection's much greater, honestly. I'm joking with the Joe Pesci. Am I saying that right?
Pesci.
But I do feel Scorsese would make a great Halloween. At least Ends ain't in space. Liked 18 and Kills, did not like this one. If it would have taken place after Kills, it would have been better. I don't know what I wanted to happen. Yeah.
I don't think they knew what they wanted to happen.
They're just like, hey, let's just do everything.
I imagine everybody was just kind of sitting around getting high with each other.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't it be cool if we had some kid take his mask and kill everybody?
Bob says, I can't wait to rip this movie in the stream Wednesday. Got a group of Halloween End haters.
Now you need somebody on the side of Halloween Ends, Bob. Don't just have a whole hate stream. Get somebody on there that has an opposing opinion.
And not you. You're done with streams.
Not me, because I don't love the movie.
Okay.
There's some people out there that love it though. You can find somebody
don't be signing yourself up for some more live streams. Just FYI, everybody.
My wife told me I'm done.
No. Excuse me. I told you.
Well, I mean, at least with others.
You've told me that.
Oh yeah.
Don't make it sound like your mean wife said it. Ends might have been better in space. Not. Being Chili says they had their meet cute moment in the sewers. Oh yeah. I just can't. Ratman versus Lori next should be next.
Hell yeah.
Bob, I think Susan will be one of them.
How badass would it have been if Ratman killed Michael and took his mask?
Craig says, I think you're right that it's about Michael seeing Evil and Corey. That's why he lets him go. Yeah. The Rat King. It was his ex-boyfriend, the cop. The more Michael kills, the more he transcends.
He does.
I'm working on getting Sue. She'd conclude the 6 of us. I might add Gus so the 6 of us can verbally attack Gus.
See, there you go. Gus likes the movie, so get Gus in there so he can.
Don't do that.
He can defend it.
Gus says, no way. Hello, we got Dimension Scott. Hello, fellas. Believe it or not, more people will love these Halloween movies more as years go by. Nobody liked Halloween 3 when it was released, and now look at how many say, and now look at what many say about that movie. Yes.
I don't think I'll ever love Halloween Kills, but yeah, I could see this movie being one I'd throw on more often than not.
I thought Mike killed the kid and framed Corey.
Oh, and that's honestly one of the things I like about this movie is I feel like in years to come, I can watch this movie and skip the first two and not really miss much since they just basically added a whole new plot line.
Yeah.
That doesn't even really connect to the other two.
Gus can defend the movie. I'm glad the movie took risk and didn't serve fan service.
See, Gus, I half agree with you. It took the risks, but then it did fan service. It dropped all the risks and said, no, we're not going to do those anymore. We're done taking risks. Now we're just going to go back to the same old for the last 20 minutes.
Gus says, now we can all move on. Gus, did you like Halloween Ends? Michael is dead. But is he, though? It's like, can't move on till Bob's Wednesday stream. Culture Trini says, coming soon from Vinegar Syndrome, Michael Myers Meat Pies 4K, the grind don't stop.
Hell yeah.
Like Lori said, at the end, you're still a man. Let him drain. Such inconsistent writing, Gus, because at the end of Halloween Kills, she said he evolves every time he kills. No conscience, no reason, no understanding. Ken, will you buy the 4K of Ends? Of course he will.
I bought Kills, so I'll absolutely buy Ends. I got to complete that slipcover trilogy. Michael
should have drove more cars in this movie, right? Like
For God's sakes, he can't drive a car. He was doing pretty well last night. That was on the first Halloween.
Oh, didn't he last one though too? Or was that somebody else? Remember when they were like at the bar and the car turns on and wasn't he in it, or was that somebody else?
I can't remember what happened. I don't think he was in it.
The lights came on.
I think somebody else was in it. I think it was a fake out.
Oh.
We did.
He bonded with his niece and made her kill. What are you doing?
We had a super chat from Taylor Johnson. Thank you so much, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
Imagine Lori goes to Japan and Michael follows her. Makes for a great sequel.
Japan.
I don't think that's I don't think you're wrong. I think it would. Gus with the $1.99 says hating dies tonight.
All right.
Yeah, guys, let's not
we'll stop hating just for you guys.
Let's not stir up, any hates. That's not the goal. If you liked it, I'm glad you like it. I don't ever want anybody to not like a movie. You're wasting your time or spending your time watching it. If you like it, I think that's a win.
Do anything either, so.
But if you hated it, that's cool too. Just don't hate on other people for having different opinions.
Here we go. 78 Michael in the closet. Ends Michael out of the closet. So stunning, so brave. Oh, when I was talking about Michael maybe being gay.
That is good.
Halloween Returns. Corey and Michael bromance. Yeah, you shared that. They were on a motorcycle together, remember?
I love that.
See, the fact that you can even
there's so much
make a meme like that is sad.
There's so much fun that's going to come from this movie. It's going to be memorable. Like, you're always going to remember this movie.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
That doesn't mean that it's good, though.
No.
Gus says he did that. He did. That's why he was able to terror us for 40 years. Now is his day to die. Dude. Sweet. Thank God I'm not attached to Halloween like I am with the Scream films. The film has an interesting setup.
Scream will break your heart too, though.
I'm trying to read a comment here. The film has an interesting setup laid in the foundation of provocative social commentary, but it feels like what they were going to would have been better as a separate movie from the franchise.
Yeah.
Well, Carpenter didn't want him anymore, right? Why they did Season of the Witch?
Yep. They were trying to make it an anthology series, but that went out the window.
Corey's arc reminded me of the movie In the Bedroom.
I haven't seen it.
I was going to say, have you seen that? Scream is better than Halloween. What do you think about that, babe?
It's a franchise, yes, I would agree. They're all pretty good movies.
Yeah.
I think there's movies I love more in Halloween franchises than any Scream movie.
Mm-hmm.
But as a franchise, it's consistent.
Adrian says, I would like to Black Adam because Superman is in it.
I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but yeah, I'd be excited if he is.
For the first third of the film, I liked Halloween Ends conceptually as a domestic drama, but not as a Halloween installment.
Yeah, I get that.
Agreed, says Bob. 5 minutes, lol. Chandler says, I am sure Carpenter didn't have a plan of it being a franchise like it has become.
No, back then they were just making a small indie movie.
Bob says that movie better serves as a standalone film. Blumhouse is taking these classic titles and trying to do their own thing. It needs to stop. Just go make an original film and don't call it Halloween. Yeah. Jinx.
I mean, we just talk about how easy it would have been to just, all they had to do was land the plane and just make a end of the trilogy with Michael coming back, killing some people, and fighting Laurie at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But they felt the need to throw all this stuff in there.
Right.
And it makes it fun for me, I guess, because it's something new and different. And if they would just made it basic, where he just comes back again 4 years later, kills some people, and then him and Laurie fight and Laurie kills him, it would have been very forgettable, and I probably wouldn't have liked it that much. But again, this movie's not good either.
Yeah.
But it's at least interesting. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what were they thinking? It's like, right? You wouldn't have had all this discourse and people hating it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just would have been a basic end. Like it was all set up for them.
Yeah.
To just end it.
We got Constance Cherry in the chat. She said, did you like Halloween Ends? I don't think we know.
I definitely don't know. I feel like you know.
Yeah. The Blackest Eye says Michael's cameos in his own movie. Exactly. That's my biggest problem.
Oh, and Michael doesn't even feel like
one of my biggest problems.
A character.
Yeah.
Like he's just in the story. It's like, is that even Michael?
Right. It didn't even feel like Michael.
This is a Corey Cunningham movie.
Right.
Like he's the main character of the movie. Laurie Strode's not even the main character.
Well, that's the thing though. Like even when Michael was in it, it didn't even feel like Michael because he was so like watered down and weak and pathetic.
It was pathetic. It was.
Yeah. And it's like, I get that he's old now. So I guess it makes sense. Maybe that's what they were trying to say. Like he's freaking old now. So guess what, guys? He's not going to be this like super amazing mystical creature anymore. Yeah. He's old. You guys.
People are like, well, he was a badass in Kills. Well, I mean, that was one night, and y'all ever heard of adrenaline? He just got burnt almost alive. Like he was just on fire that night, literally.
Dimension Scott says Rob Zombie Halloween 2 is my least favorite ever. I rather watch Resurrection and laugh at the Buster guy. He's really funny. Ozzy says when they took his mask off, he looked like Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, it's
Is that how you say it?
James Jude Courtney is the actor.
The Rob Zombie movies are the maggots and the doo-doo of Resurrection, Ken. That's funny. We got Side Hustle Cinema saying Jordan Peele was the comedy guy. It's a little unfair to assume you can't do other things.
I mean, that is true. That is true. But what I will say is that they've had their shots and they still haven't proven me wrong. I guess.
Gotcha.
I guess maybe with this film you could say that, but this film is not a Get Out. It's not an Us, and it's not a Nope. Those are all better films. So Jordan Peele proved like right out the gate he can do some shit in other genres, whereas these guys did not.
Well, also it's like, okay, yeah, sure, you don't have to be put into a box. Like, yeah, you can do other things. But maybe try something that's like independent. Like, don't do Halloween.
Well, and David Gordon Green, to be fair, he did do that. He made a film called Joe with Nicolas Cage, and it's a really good drama with Nicolas Cage. So that's an even bigger accomplishment. It's just one movie, but I mean, he did it. Like in that movie, I felt like he showed that he could pull a movie like this off. But Danny McBride as a writer, like I don't know, like what has he done?
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
Terminator tune comes on. It looks like Halloween Ends is now a new movie part of my mind as a movie I love, but everybody hates. LOL.
Not everybody, man. Search online. There's a lot of people praising this movie.
The one on the gate, yeah. Me and my girlfriend Claudia love the Rob Zombie films. Do you guys like House of a Thousand Corpses? Yeah, those movies were...
I like House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. And I liked 3 from Hell. I'm one of the weirdos that actually like that one.
I would like a Halloween 4 2018 type sequel. Ignore 5 and 6.
Same here, man.
The Blackest Eyes said, be back. I just needs me nicotine. My favorite canon is just the original movie in 2018. Nev Campbell as Sydney Prescott is my personal fave final girl.
She's up there.
I don't like her either, so.
She's up there.
I feel like I'm hard to please when it comes to final girls. I feel like she's like, we're not here to talk about Scream by any means, but Nev Campbell to me, like her character is so damn whiny.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
I'm so sick of this shit.
She's just like, I don't know. I can't even.
She's a badass though. She gets shit done. Like she survived 5 movies. You gotta give her that.
Yeah, but Laurie survived.
In the same continuity, Laurie's died a couple times in the franchise.
What?
Yeah, she died in Resurrection. The very beginning, they killed her off. In the very beginning of the movie, which pissed everybody off.
Clearly, I don't know anything.
She died. She was already dead in 4. Her daughter was Danielle Harris. She died in like a car crash or something. And
how do people even watch these movies then with all these?
There's 5 or 6 timelines in Halloween. I could explain them.
That's ridiculous.
We should make a video of me explaining the timelines too.
Oh my God. We just got another super chat. Trying to find it here.
This franchise is
wild. We got Oliver. Rest in peace, Ted White. Jason from part 4. Thank you so much, Oliver. I did see that.
Yep, the actor that played Jason from Friday the 13th Part 4, which a lot of people would say is the best Friday the 13th movie, just recently passed away, and he was a great Jason. I do agree. Yeah. But thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Oliver.
Yeah, thanks so much. Movie fan also said not one bad scream with her.
I don't think there's a bad scream either.
We got 4K King saying, bro, look like Jeffrey Dahmer, LOL. I know I messaged Ken about Michael being the side chick, so that's my take.
Yep. He was the side chick. You're right.
Bob says Sydney is so much better than Laurie, and it's not even close.
I agree.
Dimension Scott says, unpopular opinion, I never thought about Michael and Laurie as bro and sis was insane and unimportant.
I don't agree. I love Halloween too, and that introduced the storyline. I think that it was a necessity to have that. I think it would have been, these 3 movies would have been stronger for that if they would have not retconned that.
Called Corey ugly. Dominic says, hi, I kind of have the subject, Dahmer versus Myers, who would win? Love y'all's channel. Thanks so much. So I am still trying to get Ken to watch Dahmer with me. I told him, I'm like, listen, you're going to have to just let me watch Dahmer by myself because I'm sick of waiting. Everybody's talking about it. It's like old news now at this point.
If it was Michael in Halloween Kills, then Michael. If it was Michael in Ends, then Dahmer.
Listen, do you know what Jeffrey Dahmer did?
No, I haven't watched the show yet. I just know the horror stories.
You don't know
He ate people. He ate people. He was a cannibal.
Who?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, I didn't know that. Are you sure you're talking about the same person?
I grew up thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer as a cannibal. So if that's not the case, then my whole life is a lie.
All I know is that Jeffrey Dahmer was
If Jeffrey Dahmer didn't eat people, my life is a lie.
He was like a pedophile / murderer.
Yeah,
he would target specifically young boys and I'm assuming have sexual relationships with them, and then he would murder them. All kinds, like lots of them.
Okay.
So I don't know about him eating them though.
Well, somebody let me know in the chat.
Kid needs to know. I'm still happy they went back to the way what made Michael scary. In the original movie, didn't need brother and sister. Bob's Blu-ray, not even comparable between Sid and Laurie. Sid all day. So we got some Sid fans in here. Craig says, no sympathy for the kid at the beginning, but I screamed no when Ron the dad died and thought that girl who got hit by the truck and skull squashed didn't deserve it. Ron. How did the dad die?
I don't know who Ron is.
He said
was that his dad?
Oh, yeah. Remember when he comes outside
Yeah.
and all that's going on and he gets shot in the head? What? What are you looking at? Just let me read my comments.
Well, we got a lot to get through, and I got to get to bed at some point tonight.
There's not that many more.
I enjoyed ends way more than kills. We got a super chat from Michael K.
Thank you, Michael.
Resurrection sucks. Some people in the chat must be Busta fans. I think when you're speaking on a pure objective level, I do think Ends is a better movie than Resurrection. I do think that.
I'm trying to find where we were. There really should be a way. Here we go. To go back to where you were. Movie Fan 91 says your banter is hilarious, Ken and Michelle.
It's not intentional banter, it's reality.
It's so funny to me that people like say that because this just feels like this is just normal.
There's moments where we're live or filming a video where we're actually pissed off at each other. You more so than me.
Like actually pissed off.
Yeah, you get mad at me.
We got Daniel in the chat. He says, didn't mind the direction they went with. It reminded me of what they were going to do with Jamie Lloyd after part 4.
Yeah.
Is that her name? Lloyd? Is that right? Or
Jamie Lloyd, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Are they going during the Cherry Blossom Festival? I'd like to see a Jamie Lloyd trilogy after this.
Cherry Blossom Festival.
Culture Trini says, I feel like Ken will jump off the train after a second viewing. Stay on the train, Ken. I do too, guys. He's about to abandon
I'm so all over
us.
the place this movie. Look, here's the thing.
Literally, we're watching Ken come to turn. Like, he's actually changing his mind right now.
I just don't care anymore. Like, I've just come to grips with the fact that I still have the first 4 movies. I love those.
Don't get lazy.
I like 5.
Don't get lazy.
I had my first 2 movies. I really love my first 2 movies. I can rewatch those. I don't care what they do from now on. I'll just watch these movies, whatever.
You don't care. So yeah, you're just gonna start liking it.
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Come on.
But it's a bad movie. Bad dialogue.
I will divorce you over this. No, I'm sorry. Taylor says, yeah, I guess the colors will pop on a 4K TV with pink and blood red.
Oh, it looked good.
I enjoyed Ends. Michelle has it right. This movie sucks. The Blackest Eye says, nice of DGG. Who's DGG?
To give us a Michael cameo.
Who's DGG?
David Gordon Green.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. To give us a Michael. I know, right? How generous of him. That radio DJ scene was crazy. Yeah, what'd you think about the DJ scene?
Oh, I just thought it was funny because on Game of Thrones this week or House of Dragon. Well, maybe we shouldn't talk about House of Dragon here because some people haven't seen it. But anyway, there was similar kills, or Halloween did something that House of Dragon teased it was going to do, but didn't do, and then Halloween Ends does it. I'll say that. But yeah, that's the radio DJ scene.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was all right. I mean, a lot of the kills in this movie, to be honest, looked overly CGI'd, which I always have a problem with because why wouldn't you just do it prosthetic?
Do you think that you could actually cut a tongue off that easily, though, is my question.
Yeah.
I mean, he sliced that sucker off really
Why wouldn't
easy.
you just do it practically? Like, is it that hard to find a good makeup effects artist nowadays? Tom Savini's retired. I mean, isn't there somebody out there that can do this shit anymore?
It was cool though because he cut the tongue off. The tongue's like laying on the record.
Yeah, that's cool.
Why is he playing a record?
Yeah.
In 20.
And it should be acknowledged that Corey Cunningham killed him.
Yeah, which
so
makes
Corey
sense.
Cunningham got the coolest kill of the movie.
But it makes
sense. He
got
both of them: the little kid in the beginning and the radio DJ.
Well, yeah,
2 of the coolest
kid was
kills.
Unintentional. What did you think about when he went to the doctor's house and he like took a wine corkscrew into the doctor's neck?
It's pretty cool. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like
well, that was pretty creepy because the girl is like, you find out that the girl that works there is like sleeping with the doctor to get promoted.
Yeah.
She's like about to hop in the shower. The music cuts off. You kind of hear a thud, like, a noise or whatever. And she's like, doctor, whatever. Are you okay? And she goes out there and like, she opens up the door to the little outside part. And she has to turn on the light. And like that scene was pretty creepy because as soon as the lights come on, she just sees Corey like holding the doctor and he's like stabbing the shit out of his neck. I mean, that was a pretty disturbing thing. And that was when he had on the scarecrow mask. He hadn't even got Michael's mask yet. So, yeah, he had that scarecrow mask from the Halloween party.
I like
so
Corey.
That was pretty creepy.
Corey was a good character. It didn't make sense for him to be in this movie.
Oh, okay. Someone else. Only good scene of the movie, Daniel. Perhaps someone around here gave him lessons. Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jason Predict.
Jason.
Save it for Wednesday, Bob. Don't blow your load all over Michael's mask. Michelle might have to join the stream Wednesday because her hate is pretty strong. Quit knocking my table.
There you go. Maybe you can join some streams. Leave me to watch the kids.
Maybe I will.
Do it.
Which, Bob, I don't know if you're still in the chat. He had messaged me about being on a stream, and then it was one of those things where I read it and then I forgot about it.
She always does.
And I feel really bad that I've never replied to you. So I hope that you don't think I'm a bitch, because I promise I didn't do that on purpose, but it just reminded me of it. So
I think I let him know. I just said that you hate everybody and you don't ever want to be on anything.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the truth.
To be fair, though, I don't like to do things without Ken. He's like my security blanket. So. And
I'm always doing stuff, and it's hard for, not like I couldn't watch the kids while you're doing it. I've done it before. You've been on the battles and stuff, but
yeah, it's just, it puts me a little out of my element. I think I could do it once, I'd warm up to it, because I'm not like shy by any means, but like it's different to not have you with me. Yeah, I'm glad people liked it, but
she hates me and she loves me.
But man, I absolutely hated it.
That's marriage.
I'll probably buy the DVD of Ends and watch it for myself. I love this vision. It'll be more fun making fun of Ends than actually watching it. I agree. Holland Oates says, I hope to see some Corey and Myers on a bike cosplays on the roads on Halloween. I hope I can get the 4K slip because I have kills on 4K. My 2018 needs to match my kills.
Yeah.
Give it another watch. I hated Ends last night. Enjoyed it today, to be honest.
I'm going to watch it again.
I'm going to come down here and Ken's going to be watching it. And he's going to be like, babe, I think this is a masterpiece.
I'm already leaning towards the side that this is the best of the new trilogy by default. Because every single time I watch 2018, that movie goes down for me. I loved it in the theater. And then Kills, I just don't like it all.
I think Kills will become The Empire Strikes Back. Wow.
No.
Only good films of Halloween to me are 1978, the sequel, H2O, and 2018. Have yet to see Ends. Finally watched Men, have good atmosphere, but really slow. And that ending, what the F? Yeah, we liked Men. I loved H2O, says Bob. The Michael versus Laurie was just random and thrown in the hell for it. Thrown in for the hell of it. Yeah. It just wasn't.
Which is sad when the buildup is Michael versus Laurie.
Right.
And then it feels random by the time you get to that point because they've done nothing to build it.
How can you go in with a 4-year gap with Michael loose? I know, right? That's another thing. Like, Michael's just loose all of us. Like, he's been loose for 4 years. And then just so happens
How is that town not abandoned?
Yeah.
Like, I would have got the fuck out of there.
Right.
Where is Michael? We don't know where Michael is.
Right.
He's a serial killer that just murdered like 30 or 40 people.
I bet H2O was hated when it came out.
No, it wasn't. Everybody loved H2O when it came out.
Halloween ended for me at the 5th.
I remember when H2O came out. That movie was, people loved it.
Michael Myers versus Jason movie would be great. So many people in their feelings because people didn't like the movie. Pure comedy. I don't know how some random hobo got Michael's mask and overalls, but that weren't Michael Audrey Myers in the sewers.
We go around Michael Myers.
Yeah, they were just like that old man knew that Michael was in there. The funniest part was when
you looked at me and you go, is he telling the truth? Is that really Michael Myers? You said that when we were watching it. I said, yes, absolutely. That's Michael. Same actor and everything.
Oh my God.
He's gone crazy.
So that old man knew that Michael was in the sewer. And they're just basically saying that they're just living in harmony together. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I took it as the old man was jealous.
And
because
he's like,
had
I've seen him take some people in there and they didn't come out.
Well, I took it as the old man was jealous of the boy because he thought that Michael had maybe taken him as a protege. And
he was like, why'd he let you live? And he's like, go in there and give me that mask.
We're going to give me that mask, boy.
Your same country like old man voice that
always
you
do
do.
this before I do it. Oh, there, boy, in that damn mask. Almost like Ernest P. World. You got goddamn snakes back there. Oh my God.
The actor in H2O as Michael Myers was not the best.
No, he's
the reason why he was weak is because he hasn't killed in 4 years, so he's gonna be rusty. Did you notice every time he killed or Corey killed, his strength came back? That was a nod to Hellraiser. Yep, that's what we were saying earlier. You might not have been in the stream yet. Robert says they could have showed Judith Myers' grave, Dr. Loomis's grave. What do you think about that?
Thinking you guys speed up because I'm about to get out of here.
I'm trying. I like 3 from Hell, but weak compared to House and Devils. Hi, Ken and Michelle. I watch Halloween Ends as a full-length reaction on someone's Patreon. I liked it, but I understand why other people don't. I'm still going to watch this in the theater this week. Awesome.
Nice.
I think Lords of Salem is Hereditary before Hereditary. I have not seen that.
I still need to watch that. I haven't seen it.
Look, I love Halloween 6. Thorn represent.
I'll be getting the 4K soon.
Can't wait for Michael and Jamie Lloyd's OnlyFans. Hell yeah. Dahmer and cannibalistic serial killer. Okay. I was wrong. Dahmer people. Wow. Man, that show is going to mess me up then.
And also, real quick, we got 68 people in here watching us right now. Hit the like button.
I think that might be a record for us. Is it?
I think one time, I don't know what we were talking about, but we had 70? Like 80 or something.
Oh, okay. It's in the show, Michelle. Dahmer was a cannibal. Okay, babe, you're right. You were right. That's the first and only time you'll ever hear me say that. I can't spell, damn it. It's okay. I can't pronounce. So Dahmer ate some parts of the body. He did target more adults. Did you watch that movie Dahmer versus Gacy movie? No, I did not. Dahmer cooked them in a pot. Oh my gosh. Ron was Corey's stepdad. He got shot protecting Corey. Oh, that was his stepdad? I just thought that was his real dad. I can't click. Yes, Dahmer did eat his victims. Dahmer's favorite restaurant, Five Guys. Oh my gosh, that's messed up. He drove in Halloween 2018 at the gas station. I wanted to see Corey's mom die. For God's sakes,
Michael can't drive a car. He was doing pretty well last night.
You literally just said that.
Maybe somebody gave him lessons. I didn't say that part.
Dahmer ate parts of his victims. Sometimes, but not all the time. He was odd in that he didn't follow a strict pattern with victims like other serial killers do. I would protect Jamie Lloyd. Oof. Once Halloween 2 was removed from timeline, I stopped at 5.
Word.
Uh-oh. Divorced with media. What does it suck of? LOL. What does ends suck of? Watch Sleepaway Camp 2. Angela cuts up one girl's tongue off.
I love Sleepaway Camp 2.
It's like Laurie Strode walked into a Lifetime movie and the last 20 minutes is a Halloween movie. I know, right? Ends is breaking up families, y'all. I know it. You're not wrong. Oh, I loved when that dude got his tongue cut off.
It's really not that serious for me anymore.
I liked Corey. Killing his mom was deserved. Just curious, what types of films are you into, Michelle? Oh, I don't know. I like
exploitation.
I like everything and nothing at the same time.
Too.
Hit those like buttons. Hit those like buttons. I gotta get Ken to bed, guys. He works tomorrow. I love you guys. I love your stream. Like spending Saturday night with Sean Ken, aka Jamie Levels.
Hell yeah. It's
guys,
Jenny.
We love you too.
Not Jamie.
Sartain Ruins 2018, but I love it. What's Sartain?
He's like the Dr. Loomis of 2018.
Oh, okay. We got Midlife Media. That's confusing. I think the movie was pretty great, but not for the final movie. Corey was an interesting character, and having Michael working with somebody else was an interesting concept.
Pretty much my thoughts exactly. That's why we have close to the same name.
Gus, wasn't it Jenny Levels for Ken? Facts, or at least Vacation. October, LOL. I do think they can make a better Halloween movie than the 78 original. People like Bride of Chucky more than Child's Play. Whoa.
Well, those people are wrong.
Oh, yeah. Jenny Levels. Thanks,
yeah, they can make a better movie than 78. It's called Halloween 2, 1981. That's better than 78.
He's a better Michael than the one we got in. The one that we got in ends. LMAO, the hobo was submitting applications for years, and this young guy rolls in and gets the job. I love Bride of Chucky and Child's Play the most. LOL, they took her jobs. Anyway, we should all say goodnight for Ken's sake. Night, all.
Night, guys. I'm out of here. You can stay on. You can stay down here. I'm going to go to bed.
Hopefully, we get a slick box set of these. LOL.
The slickest. Hopefully, guys. Take Michael Myers.
If you would quit talking.
Take Michael Myers off the damn cover of the 4K coming up and put freaking Corey Cunningham's face on it, because that's the damn movie.
Not that I like the trilogy, haha, but maybe if you look at it as a 6-hour-long movie or like a limited series.
I'll be honest, I'll probably rarely watch 2018 and Kills. I'm only going to watch Ends.
I had said the Halloween Ends would not be as good as Barbarian and Terrifier 2.
Well, to me it is, because
Corey was actually a relatable in the movie. I was rooting for him to get his revenge.
Me too.
Sissy bitch ass with Tony Todd and The Cursed are good films. All right, babe, I got to the end of the chat. You happy?
Wow.
Durka derb. All right, guys.
What's your final thoughts on the movie? You have any?
You have to just go watch our review.
Go watch our review. This was us.
No,
I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to get into?
Like, in short, I'm not a Halloween fan anyway. I could take them or leave them. Probably leave them. Like, they're just not my cup of tea. They never have been. I haven't even seen all of them, guys. So I'm not even going to act like I'm a big fan. I'm not going to act like I know what the hell I'm talking about. My opinion doesn't mean shit, really.
Well, your opinion is based off of the actual movie itself.
Yeah, mine's just purely.
And you just thought the movie sucked.
And even, like I said this in our review, even with me not being like this big Michael Myers Halloween fan, whatever, I still feel like this movie was a disservice to Michael Myers and the Halloween. Like, if I were a big fan of Halloween, I feel like this would have broke my heart.
Yeah.
And that's just that. So I gave this a 1.5 star, 1.5 star out of 5.
And I'm still holding to my 2.5 until I rewatch it. Then it may go up to a 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very, very conflicted on this installment. Like I said, I'm not as precious about this franchise as I once was.
We know.
You know, I feel like now, I feel like this movie's cured my hatred for Rob Zombie's Halloween.
That's good. You need
not just because it's so bad, it makes me appreciate that one, but just because it's like,
Dimension.
Why do I hold these characters in such high regard? Like, they're just movie characters. They can do whatever they want to them. Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. So I might watch Rob
Shelley
Zombie's
Short and to the point. Love it. God, that ending was horrible. Goodbye. Enjoy the stream. Live long and prosper. Thank you, guys. I've seen everything. King, go to bed. Do not pesco. Better not see any posts on Instagram of you watching a movie after the
I'm
stream.
going to bed.
Exactly.
I'll watch. Honestly, I probably won't even rewatch this anytime soon. I got too much shit to watch. I got to watch my Universal Monsters in 4K. And I got Satan's Little Helper to watch. So,
but yeah, thanks you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Sorry that we were late, but you know, we made up for it. We went well over our usual time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like how long we went.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was fun.
And yes, Bobby, the breakfast scene is horrendous. Crying shit. That's all that little fucker over there does.
Oh my. All right, you ready?
Yeah, we're done.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Which is basically the Halloween fandom. Crying shit. That's all those little fuckers do.
All right.
But with that, we're done.
Yep.
Happy good nights, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys.